local election headquarters. This is a special edition of Newsfeed Now, Campaign Trail Today.
Over the weekend, the country and the world learned there's a newly elected president. Thanks for joining us for Newsfeed Now on this Monday, November 9th. I'm Hillary Hunt. 4 days after Election Day, it was projected that President-elect Joe Biden would surpass that 270 electoral votes needed to become president. The president-elect will speak after his first meeting of his coronavirus task force. We're working to get a live look into that right now. He's set to be speaking at 10:30. But while we wait on him to take the podium, currently the president-elect is determining who's going to be a part of his transition team. Biden has named his coronavirus task force this morning. It's going to be co-chaired by former Surgeon General Dr. Vicki Murphy and former FDA Commissioner Dr. David Kessler. There are more than a dozen other members announced this morning. They will brief with Biden and VP-elect Kamala Harris later today. Afterwards, Biden is expected to talk about his plans to fight the virus and rebuild our economy. The Biden-Harris team says their COVID-19 action plan will go into effect January 20th, 2021, which is Inauguration Day. And while the president-elect's preparing for his transition into the White House, President Donald Trump not showing signs of conceding. He and his legal team vow to fight those election results. President Trump continues to challenge the 2020 election. He's launching new attacks on mail-in ballots, calling them a hoax. The president plans on hitting the road for what's expected to be a series of rallies in the face of this ongoing legal battle. The Trump campaign setting up new recount teams in Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. These are just a few of the battleground states he claims allowed that voter fraud. There's no evidence of any widespread voter fraud having an effect on the results, but they're asking supporters to pay for the lawsuits. The president's campaign created the Election Defense Task Force to raise money for that. And over in Nevada, the Trump team claiming they have proof of thousands of examples of voter irregularities. This includes the allegations of at least 2 dead people in Clark County casting votes. The county says the claims are being investigated. It appears one man's ballot was signed by his daughter, who did not cast her ballot in the election. In the other case, a woman's signature is identical match to what is on the records. Clark County Register of Voters Joe Gloria says there are 60,000 provisional ballots that are being worked through. Clark County will send information on those provisional ballots to the Nevada Secretary of State's office today to make sure votes haven't already been cast in another county. Gloria adds more than 25 mail-in ballots were rejected on Saturday because they were not postmarked by the November 3rd deadline. The Secretary of State has consistently said there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in Nevada. And of course, we want to bring in our panel this morning. We have our correspondent out of Washington, D.C., Jesse Tenner. We have Jordan Tracy, who's in Pennsylvania, and John Langer in Nevada. But I want to start with Jesse. Jesse, the hot topic this morning is this COVID-19 action committee that the vice president-elect has already announced. Tell us a little bit about what you're hearing on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, they're having this discussion this morning about a lot of things that we've already heard that's included in that Biden-Harris plan, the national mask mandate, more funding for things like testing and tracing and PPE, that personal protective equipment that health officials have said that they needed. And so this is all for the most part, been part of legislation that Democrats and Republicans have gone back and forth negotiating. And so it'll be interesting to see in this lame duck session of Congress if potentially, this sort of plan could get even on the House floor or something of that nature. So moving forward, it'll be definitely one to watch as far as how this could potentially impact future negotiations.
And we're still waiting to hear Joe Biden speak this morning. He should be speaking anytime now. But we want to bring in John because on the other side of the aisle, we all know President Trump is fighting these election results, refusing to concede right now. And John, one of his big hits in Nevada is he's saying that there are voter irregularities. What are you hearing there?
Well, we heard from Joe Gloria, as you mentioned, the registrar of voters, who says that they are certainly still investigating these claims they've maintained from the beginning. There's no incidents of voter fraud, but yesterday there was an event out at the Clark County here in southern Nevada. There was a presentation, a press conference held by Republicans, held by former Attorney General here in the state, Adam Laxalt, who was on the Trump campaign team here in Nevada, saying that at least 2 people who died, they claim, voted in the election. There are some other irregularities they have referenced, but haven't necessarily given a whole lot of proof on necessarily. There have been some other legal movements as well in federal court, which we're trying to keep up with as well. As far as we can tell, this is not a widespread issue, certainly from Clark County. We understand that the state and other local entities are looking into it just to see what's what. But until then, these are allegations that have been made, but we don't have a whole lot of the proof just yet.
Yeah, a lot of allegations being made in a number of the battleground states. I want to bring in Jordan Tracy, who's in Pennsylvania for us. This is just one of the states that Trump wants a recount in. Jordan, what's this looking like?
Well, it doesn't seem like a recount is going to make a substantial difference in the result here in Pennsylvania. I will tell you that demonstrations have been popping up here in Pennsylvania from people who are supporters of the president. Just in Blair County yesterday, there was a Protect Our Votes rally at the Blair County Courthouse in Hollidaysburg, where local representative Jim Gregory talked about trying to introduce legislation to repeal mail-in balloting because he claims of the fraud that was going on. There has been no evidence in Pennsylvania of any widespread voter fraud or anything like that. Even Senator Pat Toomey came out and said that he was confident in elections, but wanted to make sure that every legal vote counted, which seems to be the messaging across the president's supporters. I do want to remind folks that in Pennsylvania, mail-in voting wasn't just established because of the coronavirus. This was something that was enacted in Act 77 back in October that had bipartisan support. So this isn't something that was sprung on the state because of the coronavirus. This is something that passed through legislation, and it really was the extension that people excuse me, are really arguing about and debating at this point.
And I want to bring in Jesse from D.C. Jesse, I want to know what the talk is right now on Capitol Hill, because it seems like Vice President-elect Joe Biden is moving forward and kind of brushing what Trump is doing under the rug. But President Trump on the other side is saying he is refusing to concede and not even sticking with traditions, too, because traditionally you invite the president-elect to the White House, and he's not doing that.
Yeah, just over the past 4 years, we've seen that President Trump hasn't strictly followed tradition. And so, I mean, he's been talking about this for quite some time, that he wouldn't necessarily concede. And so we're just seeing all of this play out. But there is growing frustration even among the Republican caucus here, where it seems like almost a pretty even split, even some who aren't saying things publicly of, where's the evidence? Or they're on President Trump's side saying, we need to look into all of these allegations. There are main issues here. And so you have typical dissenters like Mitt Romney on one side saying that, you can move forward with these different legal maneuvers. He's in his right to do that, but he can't say that the election is rigged. He was saying that really kind of sends this wrong message, not only to Americans, but the rest of the world. But then you do have typical Trump allies like Lindsey Graham saying that even if Republicans hold on to the Senate, he, as the Senate Judiciary Chairman, will launch an investigation into mail-in balloting and the 2020 election. And so there really is this split right now, and no indication really of when that can be resolved.
Thank you, Jesse. We still got a long way to go. Thanks, guys. We want to thank our panel for spending time with us today. But before we go, you probably know it's a historic election filled with a lot of firsts and some new things coming to the White House, along with Biden slated to become the oldest president at the time of inauguration and the first female vice president. There's also a first when it comes to pets, and I love pets. The Biden's dog Major will become the first rescue dog to live in the White House. The Bidens actually adopted the German Shepherd you see right there from the Delaware Humane Society in November of 2018. The Bidens have another German Shepherd as well named Champ, so two furry friends running down those hallways. But one last thing before we go, we want to wish our producer Matt, who's not here today, a very happy birthday, but I know he's watching, and we have a very special message for you, Matt.
Hey Matthew, this is your mother from Texas. I just wanted to wish you a very special, blessed, happy birthday today. I love and miss you, and you have a very special day.
What's better than a mama's love and a baby picture? A very happy birthday to Matt. He works so hard on this show day in and day out, but he's getting some much needed R&R. I heard he was riding a horse over the weekend. Maybe he's still riding that horse. Thanks so much for joining us for Newsfeed Now. That's all the time we have today. We'll see you tomorrow with some more election coverage. Have a great Monday.